Okay, I am going to try recording this again using different software and see if this fixes the issue. SVG files, just make sure you've got the import SVG set up in your add-ons. I think it's enabled by default. It's been that long since I've set this up, I couldn't honestly say. I'm going to be covering text objects as well as SVGs. I've got 3 SVGs, one's a logo. Just put that up on the set a bit so you can see that it's made up of 2 pieces. One's basically lines, they're all separate, actual separate curves, and then that's one curve. So we're going to be covering them all, the same rules apply. There's just, and we'll take the logo, the most easy one to deal with. So I'm just going to duplicate everything, move it along on the X. Let me turn my shortcuts on. And right. So first things first is I'm going to go Object, Convert to Mesh. Then I'm going to select everything, just link them together, and then Origin to Geometry. Right. Now before I go any further, I'll just do a quick, no I won't actually. Tell you what I'll do first, we'll go in and we'll do this. And I will show you. You see the state of this, and if we select everything and we do a limited dissolve, make that 2 degrees for now. Now that looks like you now have, and by all accounts you think you have. However, if I delete just polygons, if I select everything and delete only faces, we have actually got multiple edges here. So I can just delete edges, and there's still yet another one, delete edges. I'll do that. Now I can fill that with a polygon, and that's one polygon. And if I select these, hide everything else, do a limited dissolve, that works out quite well. There's no spurious edges on that one. So we'll do R, limited dissolve, and that works out quite well. Now if we switch to point mode, you can see how many points are left. And this is where changing the angle of limited dissolve comes in handy, and it's always handy being in point mode when you do this. So you can see if I have it at 0, nothing, and even as soon as I put it to 0.2, gets rid of a lot of these in ones. But if you look at these outer edges, we've still got quite a few points. But by slowly sliding that, you can sort of get a point where you're not losing too much geometry in terms of flow, in terms of the curve, but you are getting rid of geometry that isn't required. And that looks about nice, so we'll say 3.5. Same with that. Again, that's 3.5. If we take it down to 2, you can see it. We take it more, and you see on this one we can actually probably, we're getting up to 6 degrees. So don't do a blanket one for everything, because while 6 degrees looks great on there, it probably wouldn't look so good on here. So just bear that in mind. And again, as with the 2 things there, but if I go into edge mode and delete the edge, you see there's actually 2. Press L and press F. Press L, F. then with this one, what I'd be inclined to do would be to cut this slightly better. I would actually just, again, go into a point where your points are. I'm going to cut across here, and I think I'm going to be happy with that. Dissolve edges, but make sure to uncheck dissolve verts so it doesn't ruin the form, otherwise it will delete those points as well. Then just Control X and dissolve that one. Get rid of that one as well. And that one, but the one round here you want to keep. So bear in mind there may be something up, and then if you want to cut elsewhere to be on the safe side, you can do. So there, multiple. That really comes in when you're doing things like bevels. Again, you could Control X that if you want. So don't rely on just assuming that what you're just trusting to the limited dissolve to do all the work for you. Sometimes you do add a bit of work yourself. But by and large now that is good. Now if we add a solidify, it'll tell us, and straight away we can see we've got a flipped face there. So go in. Now everybody's facing the right way. And just, there we go. Like that. And if we add, I'm just using hard ups here for a bevel. And just take the solidify up a bit. And another thing to watch for when you're beveling is if you're going to get some strange behaviour. And an easy way to check for that is to turn on your wireframe and look at what's going on. So that looks pretty good. Now, one thing to watch, if you've manually applied the bevel, if you don't use hard ups and you just go in and add a bevel, that may be set to sharp initially. So you can see this bit here if I zoom in. That's not as pretty, so always go back to your outer and set that to arc. Don't try change your inner to arc, because that way leads to disaster. So, and this strange shading, then just come up and click harden normals. And the reason I have the wireframe on is when you get into tight places like this, you can see here actually we've got a bit of crossover. So if I back that off, and again, and again. So what that's telling me is I'm having to go to such a small point here because I'm getting points that are still too. Look at that. Go up, turn your visibility off. GG these and pull them apart a bit and turn the visibility back on. GG, 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 GG. There we go. And now maybe we can bump that up to, we're still getting a bit of a cut off. Now it may be the easiest thing to do is make sure you're in treat mode and adjust. This is the advantage of using solidify. Just pull these apart like that until you're getting what you want. But it's not. And another thing you might find, changing the angle here helps. Rather than pulling them apart, you can just change the angle. But that's close enough, I think. And if we turn off the wireframe, and that doesn't look too bad. So that's just something to be wary of once you've reached that point with SVGs. And then if you want to export that, and just make sure you apply all your modifiers so that when you go in now, you can see that you've got all of your bevels and that applied as a piece of geometry should you want to export it elsewhere. So there's your logo. Here we shall duplicate it, convert it to a mesh, go in, select everything, limited dissolve. Now you can see here 6 is really just too much, and even the default 5 you're getting some straightening of curves. So, and that's looking a little better. So we'd say, okay, we'll go for 2.5 on this. But again, if we now, let's stick in solidify, oh, there we go. Then I'm going to add in a bevel. And you can see very quickly this breaks down. And that again is because we've got a lot of points right close to the center. Do we have that? We have things like this, where as it starts to bevel, it'll encroach on that edge and break. So again, turn off your viewport visibility. Do things like just knife there, and you sort of want to knife in a nice straight line. Anywhere you get an angle like that, and if we see if we can find some more, or here, that would go badly wrong. What you're inclined to do here is make a couple of cuts before confirming. I'll use that existing point, hit return, and again make sure to uncheck dissolve verts so that that doesn't, and again here that's going to break completely. So another way if it's just select those two and choose subdivide, and it'll actually cut them, and you can delete that. Unfortunately it just doesn't remember that, which is really annoying. That would be very handy if it would remember the last state, because then you can much quicker. And subdivide, it'll automatically put a cut in. Just drag one edge along across, or you can just use knife. Either, whichever you prefer. Just select them three, uncheck dissolve, and you basically go through, you're trying to avoid anywhere you're getting a sharp edge like that. That one will actually make more sense. And then just delete that one. And then when it comes to these tight corners, what you want to do is you just want to check out what sort of distance you need to make you merge by distance. So if I look at that edge, go up, edge length, and that tells me it's 0.000669 meters. So and I do 0.007, you see it's got rid of that. if we go back to 1 now, and like how far is that one? 0, 0, 0. So let's try change that to 1. Now that's not ideal because that's actually broken the tip. So in that case, let's turn off edge length. I'd be more on point. And the same here. Drag them away a little bit using GG, so it pulls away using the normal. Again, GG, GG, and once again, Control X. You're always one to avoid those points. So if we have a look at these, and we've got this little troublemaker here. So here manually, and this repeated for the rest of the mesh. And I go in, let's take a look at, there any points we can tidy up here. Well, we've had both of those, frankly, and I think I can afford to get rid of that. Push that along a bit, and I'll get rid of that. Right, let's turn the viewport visibility back on. Go in. Nice, and you can still see here you've got an issue. We got hardened normals on. It was only the hardened normals that was the problem though. Back a bit. I mean, if you wanted to as well, and just smooth it out. It's not very attractive, but it is an option. Right. So, as I say, now here you've got an issue. What's happened here? What's happened here is that whole thing is considered a polygon. Let's cut this. Now see, I can't connect the points, it's got an issue with this. Move that up. That's not the issue. No. Doesn't like that at all for some reason. So, let's do this. His answer is just delete the face, only the face. Yeah, delete only the face, delete the face, and we're gonna, because we're actually needing to manually edges. We can't knife because there's nothing to knife. Do this here. Right, and now what we're going to have to do is manually build the face. So I'm clicking, holding Control down, go around close enough that it knows what it's doing, because it basically lost its way. Depending on right away is out of. So I can do this, go all the way to here, all the way back up to there. Because it's right and it can't find another path which is shorter, it will do a decent job. These two. And to get rid of that one, again we're going to need to there, cut here, and cut there. Why not? Now I can get rid of that one. Let's turn everything back on. And that's better. There we go. And let's see if we can bump the bevel up a bit now. Yeah, not too bad. You can get to a decent level there without it breaking. And also, again, as I say, as you go in, watch where it breaks. And turn on your wireframes. And I'm guessing this point is going to be where it breaks. Yeah, you see how that now has gone. Zoom into there, you can see how it's all crossed over. Right. So let's have the viewport visibility on. And go into point mode. Right, and there's the answer. So move that along. There we go. Same thing here. And it looks like we're getting points overlap there, so move that a bit. There we go. And that's automatically fixed that one. And you can see here the difference between a nice cut and a not so nice cut. So if I join them, and then I delete that, all of a sudden that looks so much better. And the same here, you've got to look at the points. I think we can move that up a bit. There we go. And it's basically, you carry on through the rest of the mesh doing that sort of thing. And that's that one. And again, you can see there's more work to do there, but it's more of the same. Text is the same. If I take this text, again, as before, we do a limited dissolve. We go in here. Again, it looks like it's one font, but let's just add in a solidify, and then let's add in a bevel. And that's not looking that bad, actually. However, again, edge. In fact, I'm clicking there and there's blow. So let's turn all those off. Let's select those, delete only faces. Delete edge, delete edge, delete edge. Then turn everything back on. Oh. So that's actually tidier. Same sort of thing. And you can see that's gone a bit squirrely. Don't know what's happened there. Let's turn off all that. And that's what's happened. You've got that edge hasn't been cut properly, so again select them, and delete only faces. And I have presto, you've actually still got that one there as well. So that won't delete. Yeah. Control X. And we're good. And again, this is the same thing. Only faces, edge, delete the edge, delete the edge. And as you can see, it seems to be that it does the edges, which is quite strange. I'm sure there's a reason. Now again, these have gone the same way. Delete only faces. Delete only faces. Only faces. Only faces. Then we turn everything back on, and that now looks nice. So, same sort of thing with text, and then finally this one, which is basically individual curves. If I select that, I only select the outer curve. Select that, select that, select that. They're all separate curves. So once we convert it to geometry, we have to put with these curves. I'm going to subdivide them because I know I want to point at one of them. So gonna select that one and select that one. Select that one. That now ties that up. So I've now got an edge all the way around. And then the next thing you want to look for is things like this, where they don't actually cross. So the way to deal with that, subdivide it, GG along, and if I'm not happy with that, I'll just GG then to position it. Same here where they cross. I'm going to select them, subdivide it, select that, G to just straighten that up, and basically do that wherever something terminates, like here. Tighten it up a bit. Same here, we want to subdivide it. G. Right. And again. It's laborious, but once you get into the actual process, you know, it's pretty quick. Subdivide. Same here. Same thing here. In fact, I think you can do an... yeah. So you can also do that Alt-D first, because it manually move that. Oh. See, I made a mistake there because I've been moving them and not watching them. So that. Select them. There we go. And then you just carry on where you left off. So on and so forth. This, let's have a look at it. And again, now what we can do is select everything, do a limited dissolve, and see just how much we can get away with on this before it starts to break down. Quite a way, so we're looking at about 4 there, so that's not too bad. And that'll do that. But to turn this into geometry, what we need to do is basically create faces from everything. So as before, we'll select an edge. Now that's not converted, so we need to subdivide that. Merge. Control click. Now that's not found a way, that tells me this point here isn't actually connected. Yeah, there's an extra point here somewhere. So if I do that, merge them at center. Let's see if we can pick that up now. No, it's not picking it up. That's quite interesting. Why isn't that picking it up? Aha! I had to go into wireframe mode, because although it looks like you're in wireframe, you're not. It's just edges. So now if I merge at center and I do a control plus, it picks them up. So now we're good. So that's another gotcha. So control click. Come out wireframe mode now. Click, control click. I mean, it's a great way of telling you if you've gone wrong. So basically we're just going to go around now, filling in the faces using control kick to select shortest path, all the way around here. And as I mentioned before, the whole trick with shortest path is providing you're clicking in an area where it can't find an alternative route. You can go quite a ways, and also the beauty is you can overlap, so you don't have to worry about going bang on the face you selected. And if you go it wrong, just like that, there we go. Right, and we can select all the faces, and we're just going to inset them slightly, ever so slightly, until they break. So you keep going. Alright, that's not going very, very far at all. Something odd going on there. So I'm going to by distance. 14 vertices removed. Okay. There we go. Now again, if we zoom in here, you can see we're getting to points where we're cutting off, because that is overloading. So we'll stop there, invert the faces and delete the faces. Now we can do the same to that. We can apply a solidify, make it to 1, take it down. Whoop. It's a bit intense. There we go. Even quickness, high quality. And then again we can add ourselves a bevel, go down, change the outer to arc, angle, I'm gonna go 60 because we don't want certain areas to do it. And we'll do nice make it really pretty. I take off the auto clamp because then I know precisely how far I can push it before it breaks, and sometimes the auto clamp will do it before you want it to. So now what have we got going on here? So let's turn the viewport visibility off, and we can see here we've got a point that we don't want. So I reckon we can just push them back on as well. Turn everything back on. That's more like it. And again, you can go around and check the areas you think might be problematical, like here, where we've definitely got an issue. So I'm going to actually select all those points and just and that works. I'll just push that out a bit, push that out along a little. I mean, the danger is you can play for ages doing this, but it can also add to the overall look. Like there's this bit here, for example. You can see that's a bit of a mess, and that's because it comes to a full point. Move that up, you see how immediately this changes. And just move those along. And if we do it from above, you can just click and drag them. And again, you're just trying to break that being a super sharp point. Because don't forget, when you come out, that's not going to look anywhere near like that. And that doesn't look too bad. So, and that's the other one. Now I'm hoping this time it's actually bothered to record the audio properly, because last time it didn't. So fingers crossed.